Hello everyone, I'm Aaron Denford. I'm the marketing manager for APPTUTTi, and today I will be talking about growing your games in China. So, the world today has gone mobile. In the last 15 years, we've seen an explosion in the world's mobile markets across the globe. As I'm sure most of you are like me, we all have a mobile phone and we all love to game. For instance, did you know that 62% of new mobile users, they install a game within the first week of getting a phone. So within 1 week of getting a new phone, 62% of people install a game. So mobile gaming is a very important part of people's lives. Today, Newzoo estimates the 2019 global games market to be $152 billion. Now that's a pretty large number and it's pretty hard to wrap your head around. So let me try and help you visualize that number. If you were to save $100,000 a year, it would take you 1,520,000 years to save the same amount of money as 1 year in the global games market. Pretty incredible. Today, mobile gaming is estimated to be around 51% of the total global market. So just over half of the global game market value is taken up by mobile games. So it's a very large and lucrative industry. This is estimated to increase to 59% by 2020. So this shows the ever-growing, ever-rising penetration of mobile games in the global games market. So where do developers publish? If you were an app or a game developer, what are the options for you to publish your creations? Most people, of course, would think of the Google Play Store and the App Store, each of them having, the App Store has over 2 million iOS apps, and the Google Play Store has over 3 million iOS apps. But are there only 2 stores in China? There are not. There are hundreds and hundreds of stores. And today I'm here to talk about APPTUTTi and how we can help you publish your apps and games in China, as well as how data can be the king when understanding your creations and how to help grow your creations in China. Now, I've said lots of statistics right now, but these next ones you should really remember. There are estimated to be over 119.5 billion downloads by 2020, according to App Annie, and $64.2 billion spent by 2022. China is by far the world's largest mobile market. So, in China, there are hundreds of app stores. The Chinese market is very diverse, and with this diversity, there is lots of opportunities for you to launch your creations on all of the hundreds of third-party stores. Now, the Chinese mobile users, 70% of them are Android users, and of course, with no Google Play Store, there had to be a market for Android apps. So that's why we see such a fragmentation and such a diverse amount of app stores in China. They all serve the 70% of Android users in China. Now, in 2018, China was 25% of global game spending. So out of the $1.52 billion, 25% was spent in China. So an incredible amount. It's the world's largest mobile market. Now, what makes the Chinese mobile market so incredibly big? It's twice the size of Japan's mobile market, which was the originator of video games. It's 3 times as big as the US mobile market. But has it always been this way? Has mobile gaming always been the king in China? No. In fact, we can see in 2012, around 12% of mobile gaming was the market share. And you can see the orange is mobile games and the share in the market. And you can see it's increased year by year and expected to go up to 75% next year. So mobile gaming is becoming the king in the Chinese mobile market. What made Chinese mobile gaming such a huge industry? Access to phones is one of them. Of course, mobile gaming couldn't have become such a huge market if it was not for the rising penetrations of smartphones and the increased accessibility and affordability of these devices. Gaming companies have an incentive to innovate and improve the user experience of games. A high-quality experience is one of the biggest drivers of Chinese gaming industry. This is why foreign games entering China are very sought after, and big publishers like Tencent are buying equity in European game studios. There is a lot of demand for foreign games and foreign developers to enter China because the Chinese market is starving for new creations and innovations. With the increased technology of the smartphones, we are being provided more quality games, higher resolution, higher performance style games. Of course, with the incoming 5G, it provides an entire infrastructure for the Chinese mobile gaming. Multiplayer is becoming much easier because of the increased connectivity between the Chinese mobile market. In fact, according to Statista, more than 788 million people in China are currently accessing the internet through mobile phones. So over 7/8 of the Chinese population is accessing the internet through their mobile phones, not through desktops or tablets. And this is expected to increase to over 800 million. So soon, every single internet user in China will be accessing the web via mobile. What else makes the Chinese mobile market so big, and why is it growing so much? Mobile payments. In China, smartphones are like wallets. In 2016, the number of users paying with their mobile phones grew rapidly, reaching almost 469 million annual growth. The clear leader of mobile payments is WeChat. WeChat has almost 55 mobile transactions per month. So this is things like paying for utilities, paying for in-app purchases, paying for downloads. 55 per month. If you compare this with a debit card from the USA, this has roughly 22 transactions per month. So it shows that Chinese mobile users are more likely to pay with things through their phone. This is because of the integrated mobile payment system in China. We can see here some of the more popular mobile game genres in China are casual games. Hyper-casual games are very popular in China. You can find a lot of people in China will be spending their money and spending their time on hyper-casual games. And bringing in foreign casual games is a very easy and good way to enter the Chinese mobile market. So, we can see here the most popular types of genres in the Chinese mobile market, and you can see by far casual games and leisure games take up most of the market share. So, how do you localize your game? How do you grow your game in the Chinese market? To localize your game effectively means more than just translating from English to Chinese. You have to understand the local preferences and user interface. For instance, login options. You cannot have Facebook, Google, Twitter login options because they are not permitted in China. So in order to launch and publish a game in the Chinese mobile market, you need to change your login options from Facebook, Twitter, Google to WeChat, QQ, Weibo, Douyin. So you need to find a way, you can use a way to make the login options suitable for local users. Payment options. We can't use MasterCard, PayPal. You need to use the local payment options to publish. For instance, Alipay, WeChat Pay, Union Pay. Data mining is also very important. Being able to collect valuable data is a huge part of growing your creations in China. Being able to understand your retention rates, your geographical locations of your users, how many in-app purchases are done per day. And of course, ads and monetization. Most apps and games in China are either freemium with in-app purchases or freemium with ads. And using a service that can change these ads from foreign to Chinese is very important and vital. So, data is the king. Data is the key to understanding how users interact with your product. It's no surprise that companies that have access to huge amounts of data are dominating in today's world. These top companies use data to measure KPIs and to track the changes to the implementations that they use in their creations. So for instance, some of the KPIs that you should be keeping track of and you should be assessing are users. What are your daily active users? How many daily active users do you have? Where are your new users? Your user retention. How many people are playing with your apps and games? Stores. Which stores are most popular? Of course, like I said before, there are hundreds of stores in China, okay? So keeping track of which stores are providing the best user experience to your clients is very important. Ads. How many people are interacting with your ads on your mobile games? How many impressions? How many clicks? Geographical location. China is a very large country and it's got many different provinces, and you can see which province is interacting with your game the most, and then you can perhaps use this data to drive your marketing efforts in that specific locale. Devices. You can see which types of devices are downloading your mobile games, what resolution of screens they are using, their mobile operating system. Like I said before, 70% is Android. The connection method. Are they downloading your game through the Wi-Fi or 4G? And transactions, the monetization of your game. Using data, you can understand how people are transacting and how people are paying for your product. So, you may be wondering why data is so important. And if you can look at this quote here. Dan Schonenbaum of Cool Data said, "Today's online game developers should be investing in the business intelligence to understand user likes, dislikes, what's off-putting, and what they're leaving and not returning. These behavioral insights are what's needed for online gaming to become more strategic and ultimately successful. Game developers and marketers should be craving real-time data, real-time user intelligence, but not many know where to go to get started, how to begin." So, you're ready. Now what? Consider this example. You're losing a lot of users after day 3. There's a very harsh drop in user retention after day 3. Using data, you can see that there's a large drop in daily active users. Now, you can use this to make some hypotheses. Perhaps on day 3, players are encountering a level that is extremely difficult, and they can't get past it, so they stop playing. With this data and understanding that there's a harsh drop-off, you can perhaps change the difficulty level of your level on day 3. You can perhaps introduce reward services, such as daily rewards for returning players. This is what's called churn. So you can see after day 3, the player life cycle, they are falling into the churn. So we're really looking for their retention and engagement in order to increase monetization. You should be thinking of this chart. Acquiring users, you want them to retain. Using data, you can understand where the retention rates are. Increasing engagement leads to higher revenue, higher monetization. So now I want to talk about APPTUTTi. So APPTUTTi recognizes that giving developers access to 24/7 real-time data is going to benefit them in growing their creations in China. Our partner portal provides our partners with all the necessary data for their knowledge and growth. The partner portal is available 24/7. It's the most convenient way for developers to access their data about their creations. APPTUTTi's partner portal has all the data you need in one place. Under one dashboard, you can find measurements on the key points such as users, stores, ads, geographical locations, devices, and transactions. And you can use this to increase the life cycle of your game. Really, the life cycle should be build, measure, learn, build, measure, learn. So with your builds, you should be looking at the data points to see what is working and what isn't. So this is an example of our partner portal here. So you can see under the dashboard, we have all of these different data points for your projects and creations. You can see the performance stats of your apps. You can see the total amount of downloads by stores, where your users are based, which stores are most popular. We can see here we have lots of partnered allied stores for your publication. You can see what devices people are using, Oppo, what type of phone they're using, and also their transactions. You can see here there was a large spike in transactions, which you can use to measure maybe you had a marketing campaign on that day. So our APPTUTTi partner portal provides all of these data points from all of the different stores in one place. You can simply log in and gain access to this wealth of data. Of course, data is hugely important in any sort of industry, but especially if you're looking to grow your mobile game in China. Understanding how users interact with your product is really going to increase your learning process of your cycle. So, with the APPTUTTi partner portal, you will gain access to all of the points I've said before. Users, you can see real-time data 24/7 on the amount of users, where they are, which app stores are providing the best amount of users. The stores, how many stores are your projects launched in, and what are the transactions happening from those stores? Ads, how much monetization you are getting from your ads, your interaction rate, and your total monetary value of your creations. Your geographical location, you can see which parts of China they are downloading and interacting with your game. The device model, the resolution of the screen. For instance, on our partner portal, you could find that most people are playing with your creation in 1080p, but perhaps your mobile game is best optimized for 720. Well, if you see a large percent of users are interacting in 1080p resolution, perhaps making another build of your game that tailors to those users will see an even further growth of your game. And transactions. And we are providing even more access to the wealth of data. Coming soon, in the coming months, we have our Tutti Viewer app, which means you can have access to all of your project's data on your phone, 24/7, wherever you are in the world. You can gain access to your partner performance stats.
What's the biggest mobile market in the world?
And let me now just show you a short video about APPTUTTi and our services.
What's the biggest mobile market in the world? Chinese people love mobile games. There are over 1 billion mobile devices in China. Are you ready to launch your app and games and make millions? We're APPTUTTi, experts at launching apps and games in China. We provide the easiest way for you to launch in China and other unexplored markets. This is Tutti. He's ready to launch your apps and games. Prepare for successful launch. 5. Register on our partner portal in just one click. 4. Submit your apps and games. 3. Our Our Super SDK makes your apps and games compatible with local markets. 2. Ready for launch in China and other unexplored markets. 1. Take off.
So thank you very much for coming and joining my talk. I recommend everyone that has any apps or games that you wish to launch in China to register on our partner portal and upload your creations. I believe there may be a Q&A if we have time.
I was just going to say, we'll have got time for 1 or 2 quick questions if anyone's got any questions. If not, of course, I'm sure you'll be at the back.
Yes, you can find us around.
Doesn't want to ask them in person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, well, let's give Aaron another round of applause.
Oh.
Thank you. Oh.
And I do happen, because we're very happy for you to come and see us at this talk, I do have some gifts to give away. So, do you mind if I just chuck these? Are they liable? I don't want to injure anyone. Okay, you ready? Ready to catch? It's just a mouse pad. It's not very heavy. Ready? Woo! Whoa! Whoa! Whip! Sorry! Whip! Only a few more. There we go. Mouse pads. Who doesn't love mouse pads? Whoa!
Money shot! Money shot!
Oh, I'm out. Okay, thank you all very much.
Thank you.